Hey there, it's Dr. Kevin from Truvine Chiropractic in Jupiter. What I want to do is talk to you today about what makes us unique and different. One of the things that makes us unique and different is our approach and our technique. We practice a technique called the Pierce Results System, and we're one of 35 people in the nation actually certified in that technique. And what that technique does is it actually takes the TKSC approach for advanced spinal correction. T stands for thermography. So we're the only people in South Florida that do full spine thermography before and after every visit in the office. And so what that does, it actually measures how your body is functioning as opposed to just going on how you're feeling. So it gives us a measurable indicator of how you're doing. And so what we want to do is we do this scan before and after every visit in the office. If you can see here, what we don't want to see is a lot of dark red and a lot of dark blue. Okay, those are two different ends of the spectrum whenever it comes to dysfunction in your nervous system. What we eventually want to get that to is to look like this scan right here, where there's not a lot of dark colors, where you're basically an even temperature from top to bottom and from left to right. So that means that your body is adapting, that means that your body is changing, that means that it's not out of whack, is a good way of looking at it. And so by using this, we're able to monitor actually how you're doing, and we do this before and after every visit, so we know if we're going in the right direction as opposed to just guessing. It also allows us to know when to adjust, but also when not to adjust and when you're holding your adjustment, which is another thing that makes us unique, because we don't want to adjust you every single time. We want to just get that momentum moving forward and then help you continue to heal. And so the next part of that TKSC approach is the K. So that K stands for Kinetic, which Kinetic is another name for another word for motion. So whenever we look at your spine, whenever we look at your x-rays, we actually want to look at it in motion, so you're constantly moving. We do that because you are constantly moving throughout life. So whenever you get a problem, what we call in chiropractic a shift in your spine or a subluxation, it happens while you're moving. So we want to actually look at your spine in motion. So with everyone that comes in, we'll actually take x-rays in different ranges of motion. So we'll take a side view of your neck, but we'll also have you go down and go back. So that actually allows us to pinpoint the exact area of your spine that's not moving properly. It allows us to give a more specific adjustment because we're able to see it as opposed to just feeling it, which is a lot more accurate and allows us to be more specific. And now that S part of the TKSC approach is for structure. So what we do is we actually want to measure what your structure is and what proper structure is. We have a whole society and a whole healthcare system that only studies abnormal. So what we do at Truvine Chiropractic is we study what actually normal is, and we get so good at recognizing normal that abnormal just jumps off the page. And so whenever we look at your structure, what we want to see is we want to see your spine straight up and down. This is a model of your spine right here, looking from the front to the back. So what we want to see is we want to see it straight up and down. Anytime your hips are off, one hip higher than the other or lower, or anything like this, that's not good because it throws off the whole structure of your body. And so looking at that, it also interferes and blocks these nerves going to the different parts of your body, okay? Now when we look at you from the side, we actually want curves. Some people say, oh, I got a straight neck, that's a good thing. No, that's a bad thing. We want these curves because these curves are your natural God-given shock absorbers, okay? And so what we do is we want to see what those curves look like, because if we start to lose those curves, look what gravity ends up doing. Ends up putting all this pressure on your shoulders. It ends up blocking all that nerve supply to your heart, your lungs, everything in this area. And this is when people say, oh, I just carry my tension in my shoulders, right? Or this is what we see a lot with the people on their cell phones, right? Looking down on their phone, looking down at the computer all the time, okay? So we want to look at this structure and monitor that structure and actually get structural changes, okay? And what that leads us to is that last part of the TKSC approach, which is correction. So the big thing that we want to do is we want to actually correct the problem, correct the cause as opposed to just treating the symptom. because it's not just okay for you to be feeling better, because only 10% of the nerves in your body can sense pain. So we want you to actually be functioning better. We want you to actually be getting better, and we want to measure that the whole way through care. So by taking that TKSC approach of advanced spinal correction, we're able to get better results faster, adjusting you less, and allowing your body to function and heal at its best.